What's up, guys? Sorry, my live cut out. All right, so let's go back and we're gonna take a look at what I was watching. XYO. Now, I like this coin. The reason I like this coin is because, wait, I just want to see, can you guys hear me? All right, cool. Okay, so now the reason I like this coin is because when you have market structure that looks like this, and it's not at such a steep slope, like it's kind of like this rather than this. So if it's like this and price is doing this and coming back to it every single time, this over here, the reason it's slow is because there's lots of fear, uncertainty, doubt in the markets, right? Thinking that, okay, yeah, it's corrective and it's going to do this. But what it does instead is it's just gearing up for that parabolic phase. So this is the law of how the market works. So time versus price, right? So as time goes on, the price becomes more exponential, right? So this is exactly what we see over here on XYO, right? We're just continuing to make higher lows. So it wouldn't surprise me we go ahead and attack this last all-time high, okay? Right over here. Boom. So we're looking at about, let me see here, about a 7x. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I'm back, guys. Sorry, my power went out for like a second. My lord. Alright, yeah, we'll take a look at CRO, Doge, ADA. We'll take a look at all of that. XYO, about a 7x to the last all-time high. We can clearly see this is impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? This move over here was our ABC. A, B, C. And now we're just slowly grinding up. And you know, I want to show you guys something that applies to many cryptos or many assets. Whenever you have a structure that looks like this, right? On the third touch point, go long, because it's likely that it's just funneling, right? And this is the same thing Doge and ADA is doing, right? So it just funnels like this. So you have your 1, 2, and then 3, and then it's likely you do that for your fourth push up. Okay, so that's exactly what we're seeing here on XYO. So yeah, I think it's going to do that. Okay, yeah, let's take a look. All right. Okay. CRO. Now, I made a CRO chart here. I made it last year and it's following along perfectly. Now remember, CRO, that's crypto.com's coin. So you could say in a way that it's directly tied to how well crypto.com is going to perform as a crypto company. And they're not going anywhere, I'll tell you that. They're here to stay. So I'm looking at a CRO. So now, taking a look here, we're back above this supply zone. We're back above this supply zone. So we're looking at a move to around 51 to 77 cent for our wave 3, right? Because this over here is our wave 1 for CRO. This over here was your A, B, C correction, and now we're going up for a wave 3. Come down for a little bit of a wave 4, maybe to around 45, 38 cent, and then we go off to finish off. We go off to finish up our wave 5 of C. Okay, taking a look here at the weekly on CRO. This is where you'd want to take profit, not financial advice. Okay, you want to take major profit here at the 786 on the linear and the log scale fibs, and then you'd want to look to exit the majority at these levels, because this would be likely our wave 5 of C, and it would also be major fibs relative to the last all-time high down to the bear market low, right? The 1.618, 2.618, right? All of these major fibs. So around $1.10 to $1.60, and then around $2 to $2.50, right? I really like this coin. It's a good coin. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Declan. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah, we'll take a look at Cody and Algo. You know the thing I like about Cody is that it reminds me a lot like XLM before it broke out. I want to show you guys this chart, okay? Oh, by the way, Bitcoin is not too far from our bullish validation level, okay? If we get a 4-hour close, couple 4-hour closes above this level, 115,705, we're good to say the bottom is in, right? So we came down to the 618 and the 50-day. But yeah, let's take a look here at Cody. And Cody, I think Cody's going to do really well. Watch this here on the daily. Okay? This is the exact same thing as what XLM did before it broke out. So let's take a look. XLM. You see this over here? You see how it looks like a kind of like a head and shoulders pattern at the bottom? Right? So XLM is at the bottom, okay? And we'll make this the candlestick chart. Look at what you have here. You have your 1, 2, 3 on Cody. So your 3-wave move up, and you have a 1, 2, 3 on XLM. Then what do you have after that? You have your 1, 2, 3 down, and your 1, 2, 3 down on XLM. Then what does XLM do over here? It ranges. It ranges and it chops the hell out of all traders, right? Even long-term traders were getting chopped out over here. So lots of chop. But then after this chop completes, look at what XLM does. It goes on a massive tear, right? So I'm thinking Cody will do something very similar. Now, the reason for that is not only because of the similar fractal, but also because we've been going sideways since May of 2022. Okay? I'll show you guys. Boom. Yeah, and this is Wyckoff accumulation. Right here. So now this is schematic number 2. So let's try to find that schematic here. Now, the only difference between schematic 1 and schematic 2 is that with schematic 2, we fail to make a new low below the psychological support. You see how it just chops down to mid-range? It comes down very close to it. It comes very close to the lows of the range, but it doesn't really take out the lows. And that's exactly what we see. You see this move over here? This move? That's where I think Cody is in. So, like, it's right here. Like, right here. Okay? And we can clearly see on Cody that this over here is our 5-wave move. We're just missing our third leg in Cody's cycle. Okay. Right? This is your first leg. This is your 1 or your A wave. This is your 2 or your B. And this move that we're likely to have will be your 3 or your C, taking out this high. And then for the targets, we could take a fib right from the peak down to the trough. We'd be taking a look at around 123 to $1.98. You'd want to look to take the majority of profits here and here. I would consider that safe, right? Save some coins aside just in case it hits these levels, 272 and $3.18. But that's Cody. And yeah, there is another coin that, let me see. Okay. Cody and Algo. Now, I really like Algo as well. Really nice setup. Because on the macro, it's pure Wyckoff. I'll show you guys. Let's take a look. This is Algo on the daily chart. We'll actually take a look at it on the 3-day just so we can get a better zoomed out perspective, you know? A lot of traders or analysts on YouTube, they'll show you a very zoomed in perspective and their analysis will be very shallow, right? They'll say, oh, it's been at the lows for a while, it's bearish. You know, it's such a shallow analysis. But when you take a look at it from a different perspective, you can see that this is exactly Wyckoff accumulation. Look over here, guys. I'm going to show you guys something. Let's remove everything on our chart. You guys see this low back here in 2020? You see how we swept it over here in September of 2023? This is your spring. This is your test. And this is your last point of support. Now let's take a look here at Wyckoff accumulation. What do we see over here? After your spring comes in, when you sweep psychological support, you have your test and then your last point of support. So it's 3 higher lows that we see over here on Algo. And it's very similar to that of what I showed you on XYO, right? We're just continuing to make higher lows, but it'll eventually have that rise up, okay? Where it really goes parabolic. Right now, it's just slowly creeping up before we finally get that move up to this level and everyone's like, holy hell, what just happened, you know? But yeah, I expect Algo to come up to around this supply zone at around $1.48 to $2.13. The reason I say that is because when we take a fib right from the peak down to the trough, that's the 50, 618, and 786 retracement. Then if you take a fib right from the November high in 2024 down to the June low, that's the 2.618, 3.618, and 4.236 extension. Moreover, what do we see over here on the linear scale? We see that this level has acted as resistance so many times, right? We fell from it over here, here, here. So when we come up here, don't be afraid to take profits. Remember the reason you got into crypto in the first place, right? Was it to hold was it for the technology or was it for money, right? It's obviously for money. So when prices get to your level, don't be afraid to take profit, right? Usually when everything is rising and everything is at the highs and everyone's portfolio is super high, they're like, no, like this is a new world currency, and then they get so intertwined with the fundamentals, and I'm like, guys, that's just noise. I want you to fully zone in and ask yourself, why did you get into crypto? You got into crypto to make money. So always remember to take profits. Don't be afraid to do that. But yeah, this is where I see Algo going. So you want to take profits here, not financial advice, and save some coins aside just in case we go past the last all-time high to around 462 and $5. Okay, let's take a look at some more coins that you guys have. Wow, Chieftain gifted 20 memberships. That's amazing, man. Thank you. Okay. Let's take a look at KDA. Filecoin. Man, there's so many coins here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at FET. And then we'll take a look at ADA, KDA. You know what? Let's actually just take a look at KDA right now, and then we'll take a look at FET. Let's go over here. Okay, KDA. Now, you know what I like about KDA? Or I put a bunch of drawings on the chart, so let me just remove that here. This is from the last live stream. Okay, the thing I like about KDA is that when you pull out the RSI on the 3-day time frame, look at what we got over here, right? Consistent higher lows, even though we've been making lower lows for over 2 years. Okay, so there's something brewing here. And notice something. You're going to see this across many altcoins. Every single time it sweeps an important low, like let's remove everything on the chart. Every time it sweeps an important low here, right? We see a push up, right? Every single time. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? The reason for that is because market makers want to drive the price down to cause fear, but not enough to a point where it breaks structure, where it ruins the structure. So if you ask yourself, okay, is KDA going down, or is my asset going down, up or sideways? If the answer is sideways, then it's likely accumulation, especially if it's after price-based capitulation. Remember, there's 2 things you need to see in the market. 3 things actually, in order for us to see the markup phase. That's number 1, price-based capitulation. KDA went down by over almost 99%, which is normal in crypto. Usually when you go down that much, everyone gives up, or most people do. Then you need time-based capitulation. We've been going sideways for over 1,000 days. Do you guys see that? Going sideways. Then what you want to look for, the third most important thing, is a sweep of psychological support. This over here was our major low. Okay, right over here. You see how we swept it over here in April and in June? So as long as Bitcoin dominance can continue its descent, it wouldn't surprise me that KDA goes on a nice run to around, let's see over here, to around 474, 644, and 749. And then we can take a fib right from the peak down to the trough just to see where the fib clusters are. So yeah, maybe take some partials here at around 296, $3. Not financial advice, and then take the rest over here and then save some coins aside just in case we go higher. Okay, KDA looks great. Nothing wrong with KDA. Let's take a look at some more coins here. PulseX. Oh yeah, we can't forget about PulseX. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Cardano for sure. IOTA, XLR, Filecoin. Yeah. Take a look at all of it. All right, Filecoin. Yeah, Filecoin looks good. Nothing wrong with Filecoin. This is where I think Filecoin is going to go. Okay. Filecoin is doing a Wyckoff redistribution structure. Okay, now with redistribution, it's super important to sell during the C wave. What do I mean by that? I'll show you. This over here on Filecoin was our 5-wave move down, right? 5-wave move down. Then you have your A wave, your B wave, and then you come up for your C wave. In your A wave, you have a 3-wave move. In your B wave, you have another 3-wave move. But in the C wave, you're likely going to have a 5-wave move to distribute above the highs. Okay, now with Filecoin, you'd want to look to take profit at around 18 and as well as 20 bucks. Okay, and that would perfectly line up with the 50% fib. It's around 18 to 21 bucks. Look to take profit. The reason for that is because after this move over here, Filecoin could do this and have continuation of this trend. Okay, let's take a look here at FET. Now, you know, I really like this coin. I covered it for one of my members last week. Let me just see where I put it. I think I put it in this layout over here. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll just create it from scratch. Okay, this is a macro leading diagonal right here. Okay, as you guys can see, the waves are overlapping each other. And with each wave, it's gonna subdivide into 3. So this is your wave 1, your wave 2, your 3rd, 4th, and then we still need our 5th wave to the upside, right? So in your wave 1, you have an A, B, C. Your wave 2, you have an A, B, C. 3, another A, B, C. 4, A, B, C. Now we're just waiting on this A, B, C here, and we're looking at a move to around 539 to 591, 850, 11, and 13 bucks. So this over here is your sweet spot, right over here. Okay, that's where you want to look to take the majority of profits, not financial advice. Because look at what we see over here right from the jump in April. Take a little bit of a closer look on the daily time frame. What do we see here? A 5-wave move up. You guys see that? So we're already impulsive, right? This isn't corrective at all. We're right now in an impulsive phase in the market. This is our ABC, and let's see how this move reacts. We came down to the 786 here. So what I would want to see here on FET on the high time frame, super bullish. On the small time frame, we already have the impulsive move up from April. This is an ABC correction, and I want to see how price reacts here. I would like to see FET get over the 38.2% fib at around 75 cents. Okay, get above this level, then we're good to go to then attack this supply zone that we rejected off of in May, like the end of May, 3 or 4 times. So you see this rejection here. If we can get above 75 cents, then we're looking to attack this supply zone. Get above this supply zone, then we're looking to have our wave 3 of 3 to the upside, because this could be a leading diagonal. This could be your wave 2, and then your wave 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay, but yeah, super bullish on FET on the high time frame. Looks really good. Nice leading diagonal. I do see a move to around 8 to 13 buck. Okay, let's take a look at some more coins here. Okay, XDC, or sorry, no, Flare, and then we'll take a look at XDC. we can't forget about the PulseChain ecosystem though, guys. So I just want to quickly touch on the PulseChain ecosystem. There's nothing that much to cover, but we cover it in every stream. So we'll take a really quick look, and I think it's really time to start paying attention to the PulseChain ecosystem. The reason for that is because this is pure Wyckoff accumulation. Okay, right? And we've broken this downtrend form since December. And look at what we did. We came down, tapped it as support. Now it looks like we're going to continue on up here. Let's just see. Okay, so now do you guys see this? This is Wyckoff distribution. Okay, now when we invert the chart, this is the exact same thing, right? We're entering into the markdown phase. Don't forget, this is an inverted chart, so if the price goes down, it actually means it's going up. Okay, and we call the day of the bottom over here on July 6th in the Discord, and we should see a move up to the highs of this range. From the current price, we're looking at around 183%, 280%, and then we're looking at a move to the 1.618 extension and above. Okay, it's likely going to go higher than that though, to around the 2.618, 3.618, and 4.236. Okay, really nice gains on this ecosystem. Super bullish. And I've been taking a look at PLS as well. In PLS, if we invert the chart, similar to that of PulseX, it's pure Wyckoff distribution. Okay? And from the current price, right up to the internal range liquidity, we're looking at about a 4x. Right up to the external range buy side liquidity, we're looking at about 533%. And then move up to the 1.618 is about a nice 10x. And you guys get the point. Really nice coin. Okay? We'll take a quick look at incentive token and then we'll move on to the rest of the coins. I really like incentive token. Let's take a look here. Okay, so this is incentive token. Take a look at it on the logarithmic scale. Remove these drawings here. Yeah, it looks like incentive tokens in wave 3 to the upside. This was our wave 2. Yeah, I see 16 to 26 bucks on incentive token, with the possibility of us having a B wave to around 43 bucks at around the 88.6% fib. And a lot of people are going to think the top is in over here. That's when we come down. We're going to come down for a quick ABC correction, right? And a lot of people are going to sell this. But I think the price is going to creep up here, take out this high, come to around the 88.6% fib, and then form bearish divergence on the RSI, which would then mark the top on incentive. Okay? So that's incentive, PLS, and PulseX. Super bullish on all three coins. Okay, let's take a look at some more coins here. Okay. Yeah, you know, PHEX, we'll take a look at that as well. But I just want to cover some other coins here. Okay, let's take a look at Flare and XDC. This is Flare. Really bullish on Flare, guys. So nothing has changed on Flare. I'm still expecting a move up to this supply zone. You see, this is the same supply zone that we rejected off of in Jan of 2023, March of 2024, and coming up to it a third time would be expected. It does look like we are within our third wave to the upside. We're just slowly grinding our way up, right? Doing the opposite to that of Bitcoin dominance. And yeah, it's likely we're going to come up to this supply zone at around 0.056 to 0.064, see a little bit of a wave 4 retrace, which would be expected considering we saw a retrace here and here, and then finally go up for a wave 5 extension to 12 to 13 cent, which you should take profit there, not financial advice, take partials there. TP2 would be around 18 to 19 cent, and then TP3 around 26 to 30 cent. This 26 to 30 cent region, the reason I say that is because that is the 4.236 extension. When you take a fib right from the February high down to the April low. Okay? And that's also the 618 when you take a fib right from the peak down to the trough. This is also a mitigation block that was formed on November of 2022. Flare looks great. It's just slowly moving along. Okay, as long as XRP is performing well in the ISO coins, then Flare should perform well as well, I should say. So this is a wave 1, a wave 2. This is your third wave. You have an A, B, C for your fourth. This kind of looks like a double bottom Adam and Eve pattern. So we'll see how this plays out. This is a small time frame here, but high time frame expecting to move up to this supply. Let's take a look at XTC. So XTC is moving along pretty well. Still within our fifth wave to the upside. Expecting some resistance to come in at around 14 cent, considering that is the 78.6% fib. But ultimately, we would be expecting a move to around 22 to 23 cent, 33, and then 44 to 50 cent. This is what I see here on XTC. XTC, we'll take a look at the BitTrue chart because it has the most history. Okay, this is what I see. That's XTC. I'm thinking it's going to form a huge range here. So this would be your A wave, right? A wave, come up for a B wave, and then you have your C wave down in the bear market. So yeah, that's why I think that there's not much time left in the cycle. And you know, if your coin hasn't gone up yet, that's okay, right? Because total 3 hasn't broken out above the highs. So we're not in price discovery yet. So it's totally normal if your coin hasn't broken out yet. A lot of coins haven't broken out. Usually that breakout, it happens in tandem with the rest of the alts on your coin. And it's going to happen very fast. I would say much like 2017. You see this straight line up here in 2017? It's going to be very fast, especially when it gets above the last all-time high. So think about how long we've been compressing here. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Joe Deb. Let's take a look at Velo. You know, I like Velo because on the high time frame we have bullish divergence and we're continuing to make higher lows. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, so this one right here. Okay, so this is Velo, bullish on Velo. Let's take a look at it on the linear scale. Sometimes you can get a better perspective when you take a look at the linear scale. Okay, you guys should cycle through both of the different types, so log and linear, so you can see different perspectives. this is the historical trend line on Velo. It started in December of 2022 after dropping by over 95%, right? So we have price-based capitulation, right from the peak down to the trough. We went down almost 100%, right? And then we started to make higher lows and higher highs. Okay? And if we take a closer look here, what did we do here on Velo going back to May of 2024? We had your A wave coming down to this historical diagonal trendline support, had a 3-wave move up for your B wave, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave. Okay, that C wave ended in April of 2025. Then we had your initial advance and a second backtest of that trend line, and now we're moving away from it. Okay, so not only do we see an ABC down to that historical diagonal trendline support, but we also see bullish divergence. Take a look here at the RSI on the 2-week. Okay, so you have higher lows even though you have equal lows on the RSI. So that's classy bullish divergence. And then on the 3-day, you have a slight higher low. Okay, or sorry, no. Equal low. I should correct that. Okay, so as long as we're holding this trend line, then we should be good for a move to the upside. Now, this is what I mean by switching between the logarithmic and the linear scale. Because when you switch to the logarithmic scale, you can see that this over here is just a diagonal structure, like this. Okay. This is your wave 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, and then we need a 5 right up here. And with every single wave, it's going to subdivide into 3. Very similar to that of Fed, right? Boom, boom, boom. And I would be expecting a throw over of this diagonal. So usually when there's a lot of hype in the markets, you very often have a throw over of this, of the trend line, and then you come down from there. So everyone thinks, oh yeah, it's going to break down from here, but what it does instead is it takes out their stops because there's so much euphoria, and then they go long, and then it breaks down from there. So this is the sweet spot here on Velo, and then that also lines up with the 618 right there. So at around 9 to 13 cent, you'd want to look to take profit on Velo, not financial advice. And then save some coins aside just in case it hits the 702 at 20 cent. So we're looking at a nice 5x, 6x, 8x, and 12x. Pretty solid coin. Pretty solid. So thank you so much for this super chat, Suhail. Suhail is asking, would love to have your opinion on XCN. Yeah, let's take a look at XCN. That's a good coin. L is asking for the others chart. Band and Theta, Elon, XLM. Yeah, we'll take a look at all of this. We'll take a look at all of these charts. Let's first take a look at XCN, and yeah, let's take a look. But I just want to switch back to XRP very quickly, guys. Just give me 1 second here. I just want to see where it's at. Alright, we're at 3.034. We need to see a move above 310 and 315. Remember that. If we get a move above 310 and 315, we're good to go for a move above 330 and 364. Let's take a very quick look at BTC. Alright, it's looking pretty good still. Yeah, I want to see a move above this level, right? 115.705, or we run the risk of this being a fake out and we have one more shot at the lows before continuing up. Okay, I said this in the last live stream, but it got shut off. So yeah, and yeah, we run the risk of having a move back below the 50-day moving average, but that move below the 50-day moving average will likely be considered deviation, right? So we tapped the 50-day moving average. We tapped it over here, and then we saw a over 3% rise. But let's just be mindful of the possibility that this can drive down one more time, just to have deviation below the 50-day and then see the retraction from there. Okay, let's take a look at XCN crypto. So we'll see here. This looks like a nice wedge. Remember, it's just been trending down. The price hasn't shown itself yet. But usually, when the price doesn't show itself or show its hand, that offers really good risk-reward opportunities. So let's pull out the RSI here and see if we have any bullish divergence on XCN. And we do have bullish divergence right here. And what I want to do on XCN is take a look at the on-balance volume. So if the on-balance volume is rising, that would be a good sign. Okay, it's not rising. Okay. So XCN is in a falling wedge, but at the same time it is trending down. So just be careful on this coin. What I would want to see here going forward on XCN is just a move or a daily close back above the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average sits right over here. Okay. And then for extra confirmation, we can take a look towards these other moving averages. Let's take a look here. The 21-day. So for extra confirmation, a move above the 21-day moving average. So right over here and here. Okay, get a move above these two levels on the daily time frame. Then there is a big possibility that we're breaking out, and this over here was our wave 1 to the upside. This over here would be our wave 2, then we have a wave 3. But be careful, remember, because on the macro we're still trending down on XCN. XCN has come down to the 78.6% fib, so that's a positive sign already. And usually in the market, you tend to see big reversals off the 786 to the downside and to the upside. So let's see. Take a look here at the 4 hour. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, a little bit of bullish divergence here on the 4 hour. MACD is turning up, so yeah, it could see a breakout here. We'll see how it plays out. Extra confirmation would be to see a move above the 50 and 21 day, like I said. Right? This could be your wave 1, and this could be a wave 2. And within our wave 2, we have an A, B, and a C wave. Okay, so if Bitcoin dominance continues to decline, then we're going to take a look at this supply zone here. You see how we were rejected off of it in July? Right here? So a move up to this level. And then we'll see how it reacts from here. But if XCN were to really break out and go for a nice run to the upside, we'd be taking a look at this level right here. We can take a fib right from the last drop-off point, so from December of 2024. So the last major drop-off point would be right over here. And we take it down to the expected low. And we'd be looking at a move up here. This level, and this level. Okay. Some good gains here. Good gains to be made. But just be careful, like I said. Oh, XCN, okay. Sorry, I didn't read the chat. XCN, okay. Yeah, XCN. I think I made this chart here. Okay, yeah, this is XCN here. So I think we should see a move to around 0.094. Now originally I had this as the correction being complete, right? And then we would come down. The alternate scenario would be that we see one more push up here to around 0.094. The reason I'm saying 0.094 is because this is the 88.6% fib when you take a fib right from the peak down to the trough. If we take a look at this on a blank chart, we could see that this is clearly a wave 1, a wave 2, a third wave, fourth, and we still need to come up for a wave 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And what we can do on XCN is take a fib right from the wave 3 high down to the wave 4 low. And this is where you'd want to look to be exiting. So right in this area right here. Right in this area. So around 7 to 11 cent, just be careful. Yeah, and that's if you take a fib right from the peak down to the trough on the linear scale. You see how it perfectly lines up with these fibs? 7 cent, 9 cent, 11 cent. You may even get a push up to around 14 to 15 cent up here. So save some coins aside just in case it comes up here. So these two levels are your sweet spot. These two levels right here. Right over here. Okay. Now there's better coins than this, because XCN has already had its run, but I don't think the run is over yet on XCN. My bias would be that it's not done yet. You see this move up here on April? This move up in April, right? I think this was the start of our wave 1 of 5, come down for a wave 2 of 5. We have a wave 3, 4, and then finally your wave 5 of 5 would come in here. And look for bearish divergence when we get up here, right? That will give you signs of when to start exiting, right? So you're going to pull out your RSI like this. And when you see something like this, when the price makes a higher high and it gets up to our green regions, and the RSI does this and makes a lower high, that's when you'd want to look to exit. Okay, so that's XCN. Okay, so I took a look at Filecoin. I think I took a look at it on in the last live stream. Not sure. Okay. QNT. We can't forget about QNT, guys. We take a look at it every stream. Let's take a look here, QNT. So this is QNT going all the way back to August of 2018, right? This was our 5-way move to the upside in the form of a leading diagonal, come down for an ABC for your wave 2, had an explosive wave 3 in the 2020 bull market, and it looks like we're coming down for, or it looks like we're coming up for a C wave. So this is what I see on QNT. Your A, B, C, right? This is your A wave. This is your A, B, C, taking out this high, right? So this is your B wave. And then once you take out this high, it's likely we come down for a C wave like this to form just a little bit of a bigger base. I don't think that, so QNT is impulsive, but it's impulsive within a B wave. But that doesn't mean that QNT can offer great gains. I actually think it's gonna 6-7x. So we're looking at around, let's see here, 500 to 700 bucks. But just be careful here. If we take a fib right from the peak down to the trough here, the 1.786 extension is at around 700 bucks. 1.618 is at 654. So from the current price, we're looking at about 470 and 527%. If you got in at around 100, you're looking at about a 6x. So just be careful here. Now, it doesn't mean that QNT can't go higher. We can definitely invalidate this count and go ahead and make our way to 1,000, 1,400, and 1,643. But this is where you should be careful. Okay, 654 and 717 right here. You want to look where the rest of the market is when QNT is up here. Right, QNT is also, it's a little bit of a late mover, so we'll see how it plays out as the price develops. And definitely check for bearish divergence here on the RSI. So if we make a higher high here and sweep this high that was set in 2021, on the weekly, you'd want to look for this. You'd want to look for something like this. Okay. And then you'd want to look to sell up here. But I have high hopes for QNT. I mean, once this B wave comes in, or once the C wave sets, then in the next run, we should see 1,600, maybe even 2,000 bucks on QNT. But yeah, it looks good. Looks pretty good. This looks like a running flat, so this could be your 3 down in your A, your 3 up in your B, and then maybe a 5 down in your C, and then we go off, something like that. on the small time frame. But the good news is that QNT is impulsive, right? We see a 5-wave move. That's the good news. Yeah, that's QNT. What's up, Raw Doggin? Glad to have you here, bro. Raw Doggin is saying, had my son yesterday. Congratulations, bro. That's amazing. Okay, let's take a look at others. The others market cap chart. Let's take a look. Super bullish, guys. See how it's just grinding up here? This is your support. It's unlikely we break below this diagonal trend line. It's very unlikely. And I'll tell you why. Because look at what we did over here from March of 2024. We had your A wave. This was when Bitcoin had its breakdown in March. A lot of people remember that. Then in August and October, a lot of people thought that we're having our run to the upside. We're going to go ahead and attack the last all-time high. But what was it really? It was just a 3-wave move for your B wave. Then we came down for your C wave in a 5-wave move, back testing this historical trend line. Let's just move this trend line right over here, just so it's touching. And then what did we do in June of 2025? We double back tested it. So you're going to see some chop here, right? Price is likely going to funnel, right? You're going to see this funneling. And then you're going to take out this high, and then we'll go ahead and attack the last all-time high. Okay. We're looking for a move to 748 to 818 billion. Right up here. And very similar to that of total 3, once you get above the last all-time high, we'll be in price discovery for others. Okay? Trust me, the altcoin market hasn't seen anything yet. The only coins that have seen something, it's the ISO coins. Right? All of the financial coins, they've seen a run. But many coins, the run is coming for sure. It's going to be a big run. But yeah, this is others. Looks really good. This is our wave 1 right here. Let's make this white here. This is our wave 1, your wave 2, your 3rd, 4th, and then we have an explosive 5th. That's what I'm thinking. Like this. And notice how the 1-to-1 extension perfectly lines up with the 2.618. So at around 1.17 trillion, you may even come up here. There's a possibility of that. So these 3 levels, be careful. We'll see how we react up here. Okay. What you can also do is take a fib right from this B wave high down to this C wave low. Okay, and look what we have here. So there's a lot of confluence here at around 1.14 trillion to 1.3 trillion. So this level right here is where you'd want to look to be very cautious. Okay. Let's just measure this. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so yeah, this is your minimal technical target right here. It's likely going to go higher though, like I was showing you guys. Right, it's likely going to go to around 1.1 trillion right here. Okay, let's take a look here at IOTA. But before we deep dive into IOTA, we'll take a very quick look at API 3. Just trying to find the chart here. Okay, so right over here, this is API 3. I like how we came down to this horizontal trendline support, right? So it's just slowly grinding up with the rest of the altcoin market. But this is very significant on API 3. How we had our range, then we went below the range for your manipulation. We had a move back into the range and then a back test of that range. So if this can hold over here at around 66 cents, then we should be good for a continuation. Okay, this is the full chart on API 3. Okay, you'd want to look to take partials here. If price starts to find resistance at around 277 to around 418, take partials there, not financial advice. Then save some coins, just in case we get that full breakout. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at IOTA. I really like that coin, IOTA. I think it's currently within wave 3 to the upside. So let's see. Let's check it out on the daily. We'll go on the 12 hour. Let's check the 12 hour out. We came down to the 702 retracement. You see how we perfectly topped it? Just like that. Okay, so if we can get a move back above the 50% fib at 0.197, you'd be turning this into support again. Okay, right? We used it as support here, over here as well, and then we lost it. So turning it back into support would be bullish. So this is a level I want to see IOTA get above. Otherwise, we're going to come down to the 786 here at 0.165. But overall, IOTA is pretty bullish. We are within wave 3 to the upside. I think that when you zoom out, the move all the way back from 2017 was a 3-wave move down. A, B, C for your A wave, A, B, C up for your B wave, and then a 5-wave move to the downside for your C wave. Then what did we have here in November? We had your wave 1. Came down for an ABC, and now we're slowly grinding up for a wave 3 to the upside. Okay, you're going to see some major resistance come in at around 47 to 54 cent. Some resistance come in around 92 cent to $1. Probably see a wave 4 pullback from there, and then going for your wave 5 of 3. Now we're going to have to alter these waves as the price develops. Remember that. And we're going to alter it in the Patreon and Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Patreon yet, go ahead and click the link in the description below to join, so you guys can stay updated on all of your favorite assets. I make videos on all of the coin requests, so you can get full in-depth breakdowns and always be ahead of the market. Okay, this is what I'm expecting here on IOTA. You'd want to look to take profit here. The reason for that is because when you take a fib right from this wave 1 high back in November of 2024 down to this low in April, look where the 4.236 extension is, right over here at 240, and that's the same level as the 38.2% fib when you take a fib right from the 2017 peak down to the bear market low. So you'd want to look to take profit here. Okay, not financial advice. And then TP2 and TP3, just in case we go ahead and make our way to the highs and above. Moonboy target would be at around 15 to 25. But yeah, IOTA looks pretty good. I just want to see a move above 0.197 in order to confirm a move to around 31 to 33 cent. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. Looking pretty good so far. This is the daily time frame. It's red on the day. I covered this in the last stream, but it got cut off. So this is the move I want to see. A move below 60.75%. And this is the small time frame wave count on Bitcoin dominance. Do you guys see that? I think this was a wave 4. And it'll be confirmed as a wave 4 if we can get a move below 60.75%. Let's turn off this small time frame layout and take a look at Bitcoin dominance on the daily. This is the full wave count of Bitcoin dominance, going all the way back to 2017. And the wave count shows that we've topped. It's already topped out. Okay. You had, so I'll show you guys here, you had your 3 wave move up, your 3 wave move down for your B wave, so for your A wave and for your B wave. And then for your C wave, you had a wave 1, a wave 2, you had a wave 3 to the upside. This whole move was a wave 3. Okay, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an ending diagonal within wave 5 of 3. Came down for an ABC correction. Many people thought that this was the top on Bitcoin dominance, including me. I actually thought this was the top here. But it came back above this diagonal and then formed your wave 5 here. Okay, so this was your wave 1. This was your wave 2. This is your 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And look where Bitcoin dominance rejected off of. It's very important to note. We rejected right off of the 78.6% fib. So when you take a fib right from this peak over here in December of 2020 down to this low, you see where we rejected off of? The 786 at 66.05%. So let's just delete everything here. I'll show you guys. See where we came up to? Right at the 786. And what's even more nice about this is when you take a fib right from the last swing high down to the last swing low before we have a 5-wave move, look where we came up to. Right at the 2.786 extension. Do you guys see that? So we have so much confluence to tell us that Bitcoin dominance is topped, right? We've even run into this diagonal trend line resistance here on the macro. So it looks pretty good, Bitcoin dominance. Hey, what's up, Vic? Nice to have you here. We'll take a look at HBAR, Algo, Doge. We'll take a look at all that. Let's just quickly switch back to Bitcoin and XRP. I just want to see where it's at right now. Let's see. Okay, still making its way up, but like I said, I want to see a move above these two levels. 310 and 315. In order to confirm, we're going to go in for continuation and that this was the bottom here. Don't forget that XRP has hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame from the June low up to the August low. We have a higher low. On the RSI we have a lower low, so that's your hidden bullish divergence. But in order to confirm this move on XRP, so this is what we just completed on XRP in Wyckoff reaccumulation. We had an A, a B, and a C wave down. Now in order to confirm this move, where it's the most parabolic phase that XRP is going to experience in its cycle, all we need to see is simply just to move above this level. I'll show you guys here. Just above. The 702 at 315 and the 618 at 310. Get above this level, then we're good to go on XRP. Let's take a very quick look at BTC. Let's check out what it's doing. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good. And remember, BTC, like to see a move above 115.705 in order to confirm that this was our WXY correction. So Haskala is saying, looking for the alts to leave Bitcoin in the dust. Yeah, man. Can't wait for that for sure. It's been so long, you know. Alts have just been chopping at the lows for 3 years now, right? I mean, XRP and all of the other ISO coins have gone up exponentially, but there's still a lot of people waiting for sure. Mina is asking for Dent. Yeah, let's take a look at Dent. I love Dent. And I think that when we see true altcoin expansion, when we see Total 3 go above its last all-time high, that's when we're going to see Dent truly take off. Let's take a look. So this is Dent here on, let's take a look here. So this is Dent on the 3-hour time frame. So in order to invalidate more downside here and to say that, oh, okay, this was our ABC correction completed, we just want to see a move above 307 and for extra confirmation 308. Okay, this level right here, to say that this ABC is completed and this is our wave 2. Okay, but let's remove this small time frame layout and just take a look at what's happening on the high time frame, because that's truly what matters, right? You always want to zoom out. You never want to be too zoomed in. This is what I expect to happen on Dent, right? It's exactly what XRP did. The only difference is that Dent has been consolidating longer and it hasn't been met with enough demand for it to fully take off yet. But the good news is that it's still consolidating sideways, right? So there's still accumulation here. Take a look here at XRP. Okay, let's just remove all of these drawings and take a look at what XRP did. Okay, it's the exact same thing. Boom. And boom. Same thing as Dent, right? This coin may seem like it's dead because it hasn't been doing anything. It's just been going sideways. But you know, when I was analyzing XRP before it broke out, everyone was saying XRP was dead over here. They were literally saying it's a shit coin, it's dead. There's no way it's going to break out. But it's just time-based capitulation. This is just Wyckoff accumulation, and look what we were doing. We were consolidating on XRP in the apex. So we were in this wedge, this macro wedge for 2,500 days. In that 2,500 days, we were going sideways at the apex for almost 1,000 days, right? The only difference is that with with Dent, we see that we've just been consolidating a little bit longer. Okay, we've been consolidating for 1,100 days and over 2,700 days within the macro pennant. So from current prices right up to the 786, it's around a 30x, and we can see that if we take a look at Dent's market cap chart, right? This is the market cap of Dent. We can see that in 2021, the market cap chart made a higher high. Right? Look over here. You see how it made a higher high in 2021, but on the USD pair it made a lower high. So that's your SMT divergence, smart money. That's your smart money divergence right there. So I think the same thing is going to happen in this cycle as well. The market cap chart of Dent is going to go ahead and reach around 2.59 billion, maybe 3.6 billion up here to make a new high. But if the Dent market cap chart makes a new high over here, the Dent USD pair will come to around 0.022 to around 0.026. And that's about a 30x from the current price. This coin requires a lot of patience, and when you buy into it, don't expect it to go up right away, but just know that the breakout is likely to, the correction will likely have resolution, and it'll be to the upside. Okay? So yeah, really bullish on this coin. And what I also like about Dent is that this stock RSI on the monthly, take a look at this, guys. You see the stock RSI, it's curling up from the lows, and we actually have bullish divergence on the stock RSI, even though we have lower lows here, right? Something I also wanted to point out very quickly before I move on to the next coin, next coin request, is that when you take a look here at the OBV, on balance volume, on the daily, we'll actually take a look at it on the 3-day. Let's check it out here. You see we've been just going sideways. Right here, we've just been going sideways. The entirety of this time, this is over 1100 days, the OBV has been making higher lows, right? You guys see that? So that shows you that there's accumulation or hidden accumulation in this coin, right? See how it's making a new floor every single time, even though the price is going sideways? So that's really bullish. Let's move on to some other coins here. So Mohammed is asking for ZRX. We'll take a look at ZRX. For sure. All right, let's take a look. ZRX. It's the same thing as Cody. Now, the good thing about ZRX is that we have equal highs here. So it's very likely that price is going to reach back up to these highs, right? So you have a lot of sell stops above these highs. So this would be called our equal high buy side liquidity, right? This would be our EQH, BSL, or you can just simply call it a supply zone. This is your supply zone. Now, when you take a look at Cody, look at what we have here. I was just covering Cody in the last stream. And this structure, let's line it up with XLM as well, okay? Okay, this is XLM at the bottom pane, Cody is in the middle pane, and then ZRX is at the top pane here. Do you guys see the similarities? A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C down, A, B, C down, and XLM did the same exact thing. But after this second ABC, we had consolidation, and then XLM went ahead and did over 5x. You guys see? So that's likely to happen to ZRX and to Cody. We're likely going to see a move above 91 cent and $1.41 to then go ahead and attack, like I said, the equal high buy side liquidity resting at $2.37. This would be your ABC right here, A, B, and your C wave. You see? And then this over here would be your wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. But yeah, a move to 237 is what we would be expecting. Nice 10x. And then just to be safe, you want to look to take profit here. Major profits. You can take profit once we get back to this last all-time high, considering it is a 10x from the current price, and then look to take the majority here and here, not financial advice. Let's see what other coins there are here. Oh yeah, ADA. Forgot to do ADA. This is what I see on ADA. And I think we're doing the Livermore speculative chart. Okay. So if we zoom in a little bit on ADA, you can see that every time we've come down to this level, or we've come up to this level, we see no rejection. Here, over here, right? Even over here, right? Every single time. But this move over here could be a partial decline. We've come down to the 50% fib. We saw a move above this level and then we retracted back into the range. So you'd want to look to DCA ADA at all of these levels here, not financial advice, right? You can even come right down here like this. If the market gets a flush, if the rest of the market gets a flush. But all of these moves over here, it would just be a blip on the radar in the grand scheme of things. Because on the high time frame, when we zoom out, this is just pure Livermore speculative chart, right? Whenever you have 7 touches, that's when we go off. So I'm looking at around 373, 415, and 481 up to 529. And then this over here would be your moon boy targets. There's no guarantee we're going to reach these targets here, right? But these targets I'm very confident in, these levels here. Very similar structure to that of Dogecoin too, right? Take a look at Doge. The only difference is that it's forming it on the logarithmic scale instead. You guys see? Doge should make a new all-time high to around 183 to 358. Could go down lower for sure. But you'd want to look to become a buyer here in this range for the anticipation of that last parabolic phase. Right? Whenever you have 7 touches, this is your 1, your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you double tap the 200 week EMA. You guys see how we double tapped it? Let's just remove these drawings. Tapped it once here, tapped it the second time here, and then you saw the move up, right? This over here was our break of structure. This was your break of structure, your change of character, or sorry, no, this over here was your change of character, your break of structure, your move down, your move back down to the 78.6% fib. And then you have another break of structure here. So this is bullish order flow, right? We've just been making higher lows going all the way back to 2022, right? Higher low, or sorry, your low comes in, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That's bullish order flow. Then you have higher highs too. So it wouldn't surprise me that Dogecoin goes on a really nice run to the upside. And yeah, Sorry, let me just, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is what I see on Doge. Yeah, so SF is saying, you think Doge goes that high? Yeah, I do. I think it goes to $1.83 to $3.20. It could come to around 358. But yeah, this is what I see when there's max euphoria in the market, right? I'm talking pure pandemonium, right? When total 3 is above the last all-time high, when everything is breaking out. Yeah, I do see Doge up there, right? There's no alt season without a Doge run. Remember that. Okay, let's take a look here at HBAR and SHIB as well. Okay, SHIB. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. HBAR. HBAR is looking great. So HBAR is going to come up to the top of this ascending channel, just like it did back here in 2019, 2021, in March and September, but it hasn't done so yet in this cycle. Okay. Let's take a closer look at HBAR here. This was our 5-wave move up for your wave 1 or your A wave. It's likely a wave 1. Then you come down for an ABC for your wave 2. And now we're just working on our wave 5 of 3. Okay, we've come down to the 38.2% fib here. You see, we came down to the 38.2% fib. All I would want to see here going forward is just a daily close above 0.255. Get a daily close above 0.255, then it's likely we'll go ahead and make a new high above 30 cent. Otherwise, continue to DCA HBAR if it does come down and it's unable to get above this level, right? It could come back down to test the 50, 100, and 200-day EMA and then pop off from there. Okay, there is a possibility of that even come down to backtest this May resistance as support. But if it does come down, it will likely be short-lived because we'd still be expecting a move to 40 to 45 cent. See a little bit of a decline from there, and then go ahead and attack the upper bounds of this macro ascending channel. This is where you'd want to look to take profit, not financial advice. 89 to 98 cent. Take some at $1.42, $1.96, and $2.29. But it's just moving along well. It's just slowly grinding its way to the upside. Like I said, I want to see a move above 0.255. That's HBAR. Let's take a look at SHIB. So I like SHIB. It's just holding here. It's just holding this as support. Let's take a look at it on the linear scale. See if we notice anything. Yeah, we do notice a few things. Number one, you got a falling wedge structure, which is bullish. Do you guys see that? And we're holding this diagonal support, so that's good. You don't want to be selling your SHIB here. You want to just be holding or maybe even buying more. Okay? The reason I am saying not to sell is because look where it's holding. This support has acted as our launch pad for over 2 years now. Okay, right? Every time we saw a move down to this diagonal trend line, we saw a breakout. Okay, here, over here. So all of this noise over here on SHIB, or all of these moves here on SHIB, should just be considered noise. This is our major supply zone. The reason it's supply is because every single time we've come up to it, we've seen a rejection. And that's okay. The price can only do this so many times before it has a successful attempt at a breakout. So if we come back up to around this level, what is it, 4015 and 4016, then it's likely it's going to break out of this falling wedge. We can take a fib right from this high, like right from the peak here in March down to this low, and look to see how price reacts here at the 618. The reason I say that is because we saw a rejection off here back in March and in December. So as soon as you get above this small time frame supply on SHIB, we're looking at a move right to the 618. About 162%. Okay, but considering it's a meme coin and it's been around for a while, it should go ahead and make a high above the March highs. So maybe this over here is your A wave, this is your B wave, and then you come up for a C, something like that. And this is your A, B, C. Okay, that makes more sense. But I'm just saying, look for resistance to come in here once you get above this small time frame supply. Okay. Then this would be your A wave, your B wave, and then you have your C wave down. So this over here is your sweet spot on SHIB, right up here. Okay, this is where you'd want to look to take profit, not financial advice. Okay, let's take a look at SUI. I like SUI, man. Super bullish. Very impulsive SUI. Just want to see which chart, which layout I put it on here. Okay, so let's check this out. Let me just go on my Discord, just see which layout I put SUI on. One sec, guys. Let me just check it out here. Okay. Here we go. Here's SUI. Yeah, everything is following along perfectly for SUI. We're just still within our wave 3 of 5. We still have a lot more upside to go on SUI. This over here was your wave 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have your A, B, C correction for your wave 2. You sweep this low, have a break of structure, have a partial decline for a wave 2 of 3. Then you have a wave 3 of 3, 4 of 3, and 5 of 3 topping out in December of 2024. Okay? Many altcoins were making just an ABC correction back in around August to November, while SUI was having its wave 3 to the upside. So it shows you how much underlying strength is within this asset. Over here you have another ABC correction for your wave 4, coming down to around the 70.2% fib on the linear scale. See how we came down to the 702? Right here? Right here. And now we're going up for a wave 5. Very simple, right? SUI is very easy to chart, very easy to trade. And we have a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders here on the daily, right? This is your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, and then you have your neckline. Okay? So all we would want to see here going forward is just a move back up to around 394. If we can get a move back up to 394, it's likely going to take out this neckline here and head to around 454. But the wave 3, we should find some resistance at around 812. So that would be your TP1. TP2 would be at 11. And TP3 would be at 14 to 16 buck. Okay? And yeah, it's just printing a nice wedge here. Make this yellow. That's SUI. Looks really good. So Aloha is asking, is Litecoin still bullish? Litecoin is super bullish. I'll tell you why. And the small time frame on Litecoin, just consider it as noise. You know, Litecoin is a great coin to have in your spot bag. The reason for that is because, I'll show you. On the 12-month chart, look at what we have here. This is the yearly chart, okay? So every candle here represents 1 year. And look how Litecoin has been consolidating, right? We haven't had a breakout yet. So if you're looking for a nice blue chip coin that is relatively safe and hasn't broken out yet, Litecoin is great. Litecoin is amazing. Because this is a wave 4 or a wave 4. And you know which coin did this on the yearly before breaking out to Valhalla? XRP did that. Take a look at the 12-month chart on XRP. Very similar structure, yeah? It's just Litecoin is taking a little bit longer. Okay? It's just taking a little bit longer. But it's looking good here on the yearly. You see how we're making higher lows here? We have a down candle in 2022, which was the Bitcoin bear market. Then you had a inverted hammer and an inside bar. After forming this inverted hammer, you then have a year of up and then another year of up, which is 2025. So it's likely that this year we're going to see the breakout above 414 and 368. But very bullish on Litecoin. I think it's going to do well. And for the targets, we'd be taking a look at 614. Let me just make this font a little bit bigger, guys. 614, 979, 1344, and possibly even a move to 1569. Wouldn't surprise me we go up this high, considering how long we've been accumulating for. And then if you take a little bit of a closer look, we're just forming this ascending triangle, right? Look how many times we've come up to it and then rejected, right? Rejected here, rejected here, here, here. This is the monthly time frame. So we were rejected off of this level 4 months in a row, and we rejected off of it 2 months in a row in 2022. Now we're going to come back up to it. So the next interim target on Litecoin would be sitting at $131, and it's likely going to have a successful attempt at breaking above, and we're going to go for that. We're going to go for true expansion, right? Don't forget, Litecoin has been consolidating in this pennant for over 2,800 days. That's a very long time. So yeah, this is what I see on Litecoin, super bullish. And then we also have a little bit of hidden bullish divergence here on the monthly time frame. So look over here, higher low, although we have a lower low on the RSI, and then it continued to make higher lows on the RSI. So super bullish, super bullish. Okay, so Joe is asking for StarkNet. I believe you asked that at the beginning of the stream, but I didn't get a chance to take a look. Music playlist is asking for Gala and Jasmine. L is asking for Render. Let's take a look at StarkNet. STRK. Right here. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right token here. Let's check it out here on this CoinTrader Pro chart. StarkNet. I'm just wondering, is this the same token? Oh no, it's not. StarkNet here. Or this is the monthly time frame. My apologies. Yeah, StarkNet looks good. This looks like it could be an ABC correction. A, B, C. And the C wave came down to the 100% extension. And that's normal. In crypto, the C waves tend to come down to the 100% extension. Maybe even the 1.236, 1.382, but look how we perfectly hit it. Like right on the dot. Do you guys see that? Perfectly hit the 1-to-1. So if StarkNet can hold 11 cent and get back above 0.134, then it's very likely we'll go ahead and attack these highs at 20 cent and 15 cent, or 0.157. And considering this could be an ABC correction, remember, we have price-based capitulation here. We've gone down by 96%. Usually when you go down that low, you're more likely to see upside rather than continued downside. So what we can do is take a fib right from the peak here down to the trough and take a look at this on the log scale here. So maybe a move up to around the 50% fib. That would be reasonable. Okay, but like I said, would like to see a move above 0.134. We've already hit the 786, which is really good. Okay, and we're seeing a bounce off of it. But just getting above this level, I would consider that sufficient enough to say that we're going to go ahead and break out above these highs. Yeah, it looks good, StarkNet. Stock RSI is at the lows. Bullish divergence on the daily time frame. Okay, lower lows here, but higher lows on the RSI. And then the daily stock RSI, look where it's at, right at the lows. Let's check it out on the weekly. Weekly, it's at the highs. Monthly, still not getting enough data, but yeah, could be promising. This is Gala. Wyckoff redistribution, very similar to that of the DXY. I actually made a 20-minute video on my Patreon about this, showing the similarities between Gala and the DXY. So take a look here. This is the DXY. Okay. You have a 3-wave move up for your A wave, 3-wave move down for your B wave, and then a 5-wave move to the upside for your C wave, sweeping the range highs before going into the original trend. Okay, so Gala is the exact same thing. The only difference is that with Gala, we haven't completed the C wave yet. So we have a 3-wave move up, 3-wave move down, but where is the C wave? This would be the C wave. Okay. Come up to the retracements. This would be your A, your B, your C wave, and then continuation of the trend from this 5-wave move down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gala is nice. Let's take a look at SEI. Okay, so if SEI can get above 37 to 40 cent, then it's likely gonna come up here. Let's just remove these drawings here just so you guys can understand this a little better. Just to clear up the chart a little bit more. Okay. And you know why I like SEI? Is because look at this inverted head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You come above it, tap it once, and then you double tap it. So if we can get a move above 37.40 cent, then we should be seeing a move to around 92 cent. From current price, be looking at a nice 200% gain. It could go ahead and make a new all-time high. It could definitely do that. But just be cautious here at 92 cent. Solana looks great. Expecting a move to 417 and 649. You see how it's just funneling over here? Very similar to that of Aerodome. So you see? It's just funneling like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you see the breakout, just like that. Arrow, it's no different from Arrow. I'll show you guys. You see Arrow? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you see the breakout right up to these highs. So I'm thinking we see something similar. For Solana. 404 to 445, and then 614 to 649. Looks good. We would be going in for your wave 5, right? We only have 4 waves here. This was our wave 3, and this was your wave 4. But that concludes the live stream, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. We've been going on for about a little bit over 2 hours. If you guys like the stream, if you like the content, if you like what you see, then click the link in the description below to join the Patreon. You guys can ask any questions you want, get all of your coins looked at. I do videos on all of your coin requests, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys all in there. And yeah, if you guys like the stream, then I'll see you guys in the next one. I might be doing it this weekend, so on Saturday at 10 a.m. And yeah, have a beautiful rest of your week, guys. See you guys in the next one.